Mr. President of the Court, members of the Court, Madame Arbia, Registrar, representatives of states and of the civil society, Excellencies, Mesdames et Messieurs. It is my honor to address you on this occasion to mark the Day of International Criminal Justice 2012. You may recall that at the review conference of the Rome Statute in Kampala, state parties decided by consensus to adopt the Kampala Declaration, in which they decided, among other things, to celebrate 17th of July as the Day of International Criminal Justice. The celebration of the Day of International Criminal Justice in 2012 takes place also during the year that the international community marks the 10th anniversary of the entry into force of the Rome Statute. The adoption of the statute on 17th July 1998 was a historic achievement that established a permanent international criminal court that constitutes a very strong instrument in the fight against impunity for the perpetrators of the most serious crimes of international concern: genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and aggression. This is the second year in which the Day of International Criminal Justice is being celebrated, and it is an opportune moment for all actors to renew their commitment in the cause of eradicating from our shared earth the scourge of these serious crimes that shake the conscience of mankind, and for ensuring justice for the victims of these crimes. It is also an appropriate time for reflection on the achievements of the Court during the past 10 years. The Court has grown as an institution both in maturity and in size. It has developed on the basis of its experience acquired and also learned from other international criminal tribunals. An important innovation of the Rome Statute, that is, the participation of victims in proceedings, is being developed, as well as many other areas. The Court has delivered its first verdict, and the verdict in the second case is awaited. A growing number of state parties, which now stands at 121, is testimony to the increasing acceptance of the Court. The unanimous referral by the Security Council of the situation in Libya underlines the growing trust of the international community in the work of the Court, which also illustrates that the pursuits of peace and justice are clearly not incompatible. Only yesterday, the Security Council released a press statement on, I quote, "the contribution of courts and tribunals in the fight against impunity," unquote, from which I would like to select two short sentences, which illustrate the importance this body also attaches to this issue. Quote, "The members of the Security Council recall the contribution of the ad hoc and mixed tribunals, the ICC, as well as chambers in national tribunals in the fight against impunity for the most serious crimes of concern to the international community. The members of the Security Council reiterate their previous call on the importance of state cooperation with these courts and tribunals in accordance with states' respective obligations. The achievement of international justice faces challenges, however, in areas such as cooperation, victims' participation, and financing. I believe that state parties working together with the Court will be able to overcome these challenges. In this context, let me also stress my great satisfaction at the release, beginning of this week, of the 4 ICC colleagues, an event which also demonstrated the strong cooperation established between the Court and state parties concerned. In order to ensure the necessary visibility and public support for the efforts to fight against impunity, I have no doubt that all relevant stakeholders, including the other international criminal tribunals, state parties, civil society, academia, professional organizations, and NGOs, all of whom are crucial actors in ensuring international justice, will also play their part in celebrating this important occasion. As we launch the Day of International Criminal Justice, I would like to take this opportunity to also encourage all stakeholders to become actively involved in the celebration of the 10th anniversary, of the court, as I see these two celebrations being linked. The Day of International Criminal Justice is a perfect occasion to demonstrate that the commitment to the fight against impunity is stronger than ever. It is therefore my privilege and honor to open this special ceremony today to launch a celebration of the Day of International Criminal Justice on 17th July 2012. Thank you very much.
It is my pleasure to address this distinguished audience as we launch commemorations of the International Criminal Justice Day of July the 17th. But let me first return briefly to the 10th anniversary of the entry into force of the Rome Statute and the birth of the ICC. On the 1st of July 2002, the first 3 staff members of the ICC arrived on these premises. On that day, the Rome Statute, the ICC's governing treaty, entered into force. 2 of those 3 original staff members, Fakiso Mochochoko and Claudia Perdomo, are still with us. But today, they are surrounded by a few more colleagues than they were 10 years ago. Indeed, the ICC staff are an invaluable asset. Without them, the court would be an empty shell. As you all know, we have recently gone through a crisis with 4 of our colleagues detained in Libya. And I would like to express my gratitude for their safe return earlier this week. We are delighted to have them back with us and reunited with their families. On this occasion, I would like to extend my sincere thanks and appreciation to the many staff members, diplomats, and others who worked tirelessly during the last 3 weeks to secure the release of our colleagues. I would also like to thank all states, organizations, and individuals who voiced their support for our efforts and actions aimed at the resolution of this particular crisis. The detention of our staff in Libya has been an exceptionally challenging episode. And we can take pride in the unity of the ICC community during this difficult time. It is my belief that the widespread international support and assistance received by the court at this trying time demonstrates the strength of the ICC at its milestone 10th anniversary. Now we need to analyze what happened and ensure that similar problems are avoided in the future so that the ICC can conduct its judicial mandate unhindered. I trust we can count on the support of all of you in that process. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, during the historic 1998 Rome Conference, the majority of the world's states embarked upon an ambitious path to institutionalize the increased global desire for justice. 14 years later, the Rome Statute system has managed to establish itself as the leading international paradigm for global justice, deterring future atrocities and delivering justice where national jurisdictions fail to do so. The ICC has transformed from a court on paper into a major international judicial institution that is actively involved in 7 country situations and monitoring developments in many more on several continents. The ICC recently issued its first judgment, and since we last gathered to celebrate the International Justice Day, the ICC has gained 5 new states parties. In total, 121 states have ratified the Rome Statute thus far, and an additional 32 states have signed the treaty, signifying their intention to join. Looking back at the past decade, it is clear that support for international justice continues to increase around the world. Everywhere, people want justice, peace, rule of law, and respect for human dignity. The ICC represents the voluntary gathering of nations in a community of values and aspirations for a more secure future for children, women, and men around the world. While we celebrate the achievements of the ICC community today, we should not forget the unimaginable atrocities that continue around the world. In solidarity, we must recognize the obstacles that remain on the path toward ending impunity and redouble our commitment to further strengthen the Rome Statute system. We must not let down the countless victims around the world who place their hope in this institution. With joint efforts and determination, we may move closer to fulfilling our ultimate goal, preventing terrible suffering before it takes place. As we reflect upon the significance of the ICC's 10th anniversary and International Criminal Justice Day, I would like to pay tribute to all those who have worked very hard to make the ICC a living reality. The ICC did not create itself. The outstanding contributions of civil society, states, staff of the court, and many other organizations and individuals have brought us to where we are today. The ICC belongs to all of humanity. Let us all take good care of this institution as we embark on our second decade together. Thank you.
Okay. Yes.